Welcome to today's video. And today we're talking about the topic of holding yourself back and what are the aspects of it and how we can become aware of how and why we're holding ourselves back. So definitely a lot a big part of where we hold ourselves back is our limiting beliefs, which are based in fear. Okay. And then we're also going to talk about how holding yourself back relates to chronic pain, migraines in specifically. And so the large part is fear, limiting beliefs. We can use affirmations. Affirmations are sentences worded in the present form, and what they do, I would more describe it as if they don't really change you, but they trigger what's inside you that contradicts the affirmation, and this arises to the surface, and then it's there for you to experience it, feel through it, go through those emotions that have been stored back, because limiting beliefs haven't been once limiting. Limiting beliefs, in the core, everything's neutral. Limiting beliefs are also neutral, they are just beliefs that have worked in a different time, in a different era. You have gained a package of stuff from all the ones surrounding you, but they based their guidance, their teaching, educating you on their own experience of the time they have lived in. So, if they have lived in fear, your ancestral line, they have prepared you for the fear, fight or flight. And if the time has changed and if the possibilities have opened, then maybe you will be limiting yourself from using those possibilities because you have that limiting belief that you're not allowed to use it, that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that those possibilities are not here for you, they're here for others. Okay, so this is one of the big aspects of holding yourself back. And I'm gonna introduce a second layer or topic we have here today, and then let's see where it guides us. And so I would say a more immediate and more in the moment way, or if we zoom in into the detail of the day of what holds us back is, I'm going to read it how I have it in my notes, is trying to think out the outcome before communicating how we feel about it. And it holds us back from the flow and guides us to stagnation and tense situations, which then leads to the tension, that emotional roller coaster inside us, and really makes us store those tensions, which then lead to pain. And also, this is also based, the overthinking and the overanalysis is also based in fear, because it's rooted from the time where we weren't relevant, where what we were saying, maybe as children, as women, it's rooted in those times where what we were saying wasn't relevant. So it comes from trying to prove yourself, prove your worth, and overthinking is also taking over responsibility over other people's feelings, their emotions, and how they function on a daily basis. And this drains extreme amounts of our energy, because the overthinking is a coping mechanism, it's a fear mechanism, it's a mechanism to avoid conflict. But conflict in itself cannot be really avoided because there is none. Either you can flow through it and not experience one, or you hold yourself back from it, and that is when the conflict originates. That is when the accumulation happens. Because if you hold yourself back and literally hold things in, and you don't say in that moment, this is how I feel, this is how it is. You don't break it down into pieces, into small steps. Then you're the one accumulating these intense amounts of tension inside you. And then again, the relief can come in form of the conflict between you and someone else explodes, there is a conflict, or it's only internal conflict, so therefore it will result in pain. It will result in the relief of tension in some way, one way or another. The energy cannot be suppressed, it only has to be transformed. And if your body experiences some kind of imbalance, or your mind, then it has to be relieved. And we can choose on how we're going to be relieving this tension, and how we're going to be by observing it also, instead of, or the choice is basically, if we're going to be experiencing in that outburst, in that exaggeration of that tension, which is pain, uncomfortable situations, drama in your life, fights, yeah, any kind of conflict that needs to relieve. You know that after that fight, everything relieves itself. But there is another way, and that is noticing that tension once it's arising, when it's in a very light sensitivity. And this is the whole self-healing journey, basically. This is becoming aware of what's going on in your body, in your mind, before it arises to that tension that then can't be no longer can be controlled by you, because it's reached a certain point and then it outbursts. So it's about learning how to maintain your own energy, how to take care of it, how to balance, which we do with adjusting our boundaries. We do balancing between giving and receiving. Okay, easy tip for this one is, once whatever you're doing gives you what you put in back, then it will result in neutrality. After you'll be feeling okay, positive, a little bit, might be a little triggered, but balanced. If what you're doing is giving you this ease, then this will be maintaining that ease, okay, that balance. But if you're giving somewhere too much and you're not receiving, it's going to create an imbalance. So this will trigger migraines, this will trigger the dramatic situations, that imbalance in some aspect of your life. Or you're receiving more than you're giving, then probably the other side is going to be sensing an imbalance, and it's going to result in another uncomfortableness, uncomfortable situation. Okay, so the aspects, for the recap, aspects of holding yourself back, I would say, on the zoom out level, are those limiting beliefs. So whatever you think is true, whatever your belief is, that's your limit. Once you change that belief, you shift into something else. You become curious and you become observant. Wow, is there something for me? Is that possible? You shift into that, then that becomes your belief. Because looking back on your life, if you take a second to look back, for sure growing up there were some strict beliefs that you believe this is the only way. Then the time evolved, time changed, and the time changed. Okay, the ways changed. The way things are today, they're not the same they used to be. Not in a negative or a positive way, in a very neutral way. It's just different because the life is a constant change. So any form of stagnation, any form of grasping and control is what then drains us. That's what creates the conflict. That's what holds you back. Attaching to something the way it is now, and that story around it, that's the way it's gonna be forever. That's the way it's has to be. Okay, that's not allowing the flow, holding the flow. Actually, that's what holds you back, and then creates that unease, that uncomfortableness. And if we zoom in, so the second aspect I would say is the second aspect, how did I word it here, trying to think out the outcome before communicating. So it's like consisted of that over analysis, overthinking. Okay, so you trying to do something to prevent a situation, to control it. If you're trying to prevent it, you're trying to control it. Usually you're avoiding some form of conflict. This is what creates that conflict within yourself, within your body, in form of chronic pain, or with others. So on the outer level. Okay, and both of them, if they create uncomfortableness for you, if they bring unease for you, then you're going against the flow. Then you're the one trying to control that situation, trying to hold on, and this is what holds you back. Always makes sense, but we talk about this and we repeat it because then it brings more clarity, brings more understanding. With everything we hear, we understand a little bit better. Okay? So yeah, so on that zoom in level, how to break this down: limiting beliefs within yourself, energy, always feeling into what you're feeling. Okay, that is the shortest way out of. Obviously, we want to prevent the migraine, we want to prevent the chronic pain, we want to prevent that uncomfortableness, that burnout, that exhaustion, whatever it is. This is a sustainable approach. That's like the balancing. But once we're in it, the easiest way through is communicating, and it doesn't have to mean communicating with someone necessarily, but means within yourself also. Okay, how do I feel right now? And learning about yourself. Okay, this makes me feel this way. How can I adjust that? How can I experience it? How can I stop also avoiding it and feel through it? Because that gives me the understanding. That brings me towards the clarity. Okay, so not letting that, what you're feeling at that moment, that pain, that emotion, whatever, define you, not letting it define you, but at the same time noticing it. Okay, it's here. Why is it here? What's it telling me? But in a gentle way. It's not like I need that solution. I don't need that understanding. I don't need that solution. What's the priority? That ease, that balancing. And how can I reach that the easiest way? And okay, acknowledging, withholding yourself back, acknowledging, okay, this has been holding me back. How can I move past this? How can I go through it? And then how can I see, wow, look how much I have left behind me, and it's no longer holding me back. Because also we're holding on to things that we need. That fear guides us, that we need that coping mechanism, we need that pain until we don't need it. We will be having it and experiencing it until we don't need it. We need a lack, we need a certain lack in our life for many reasons. It's based in fear. And how can we not need it anymore? This is basically the work, the energetical work, the understanding yourself and understanding where you're headed. So this is it for today's video. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.